And now, hailing from southern Alberta, Canada, weighing in at more than he cares to admit, your pilot, your captain, Mr. Elron Steele.
Well, hello, Mothershippers. Welcome aboard this rather early liftoff of MotherShip Poker today. Might be doing this more regularly over the next couple of weeks. I have got some afternoon work scheduled for Poker News related to EPT Barcelona. I keep calling it EPT Bark. So, anyways, EPT Barcelona. I'm not obviously in Barcelona. I am in Medicine Hat reporting on it virtually, but well, not reporting on it, editing the reporters virtually. But that's cool. To be honest, it's a lot less hassle to do stuff from here than it is to pack up my bags and fly somewhere and go somewhere else. We are playing poker, though. One of the reasons I started early today, beyond the whole work situation, is that it will completely avoid a relatively regular occurrence for me here on the Mothership when I kick off on Mondays and Wednesdays, where I come on and the first thing I say to you guys is, well, I was playing the Battle Royale and the Scuffle, and I no longer am. Now, I started like at the beginning of the Battle Royale and the Scuffle, so we're still playing them for now. And we flopped a set here, and we're getting some nice action. Are we just up against a? Did they just flop the nuts here? Like, I think with the board being so wet, I think I need to keep the pressure on here, right? I can't just flat out of position. No, I'm in position, but still, I don't think I should just flat there. I think I need to keep first. Mostly, I need to get the third player. I want to get the third player out of the action, right? I think. Yeah, I guess I'm up against the flop straight some of the time, but I'm also up against flush draws. I'm also up against two pair situations here. I mean, am I just giving up my chips and rebuying here early in the? We've got outs no matter what they have. Like, even if they're sitting on the nuts, we still have the outs, right? So yeah, what the hell, right? Oh my good fucking lord! Sat? Are you fucking kidding me? Sat over sat over sat. Sat over fucking sat over fucking sat. Are you kidding me? Yeah, we're gonna rebuy that. It's early enough. Holy shit! Holy shit, everybody! Sat over sat over sat. I guess I didn't have outs no matter what they have. I should have been more specific. There was one hand I did not have outs to, and that would be the, well, I guess I still had 1-8 for the outs, but yeah. Evening, Mr. Move. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. How's it going, buddy? How's it done? Good to see you. Good to see you. Third game has just popped up on my screen. We're going all PKO all the time, at least early in the day today. So I got the €2 classic PKO. We've got €5, 10, €2, €5, and €10 PKO games rolling right now at the moment. So enjoy. Thank you very much, Move. Good luck to you as well if you're playing today, my friend. I had to abort and restart the stream 3 times today for various, just stupid reasons, frankly. I forgot to do this. Oh, fuck. I'm sitting a minute into my opening screen, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I start fucking clicking around on my tabs in the middle of what should be the opening screen. And I'm like, well, fuck, that's stupid. So I had to abort and restart. Yeah, so it was just me being utterly brainless this morning. I guess that's what I get for trying to click the starter button an hour early without really prepping for an hour early. How's things going with you today, my friend Moofers? What's going on, buddy? What's up? It's gonna be a day like that, apparently, right? Yeah, I mean, I literally almost folded a set of eights on that. Like, how do you fold? And yes, hello, Limitless. Hopefully that's the extent of our run bad tonight because that was pretty brutal and pretty gross. That was pretty brutal and pretty gross. I literally almost folded a set of eights there. I mean, I don't know how you would ever fold. I don't ever think it's possible to fold my set of eights there. I don't think it's possible to fold your set of sixes there either. Frankly, I think you're lighting money on fire in the majority of situations if you fold a set there, any set. Um, but yeah, that's gonna happen from time to time. Nice reminder that the game of poker is one of odds, and just because the odds of something happening are very low does not mean they will never happen. In fact, the fact that the odds are very low categorically means it will happen sometime, somewhere in your poker life. Uh, because there is a larger than 0% chance that it will occur. And if you play enough poker hands, eventually, every possible situation that has a larger than 0% chance of occurring will occur. If you play online poker, you're going to play enough poker hands for that to have happened. Like you don't even have to be an online grinder to have done that. It's absurd the number of hands you get played just if you're a random rack online. Yeah, good luck to you as well, Limitless. Hope things go well. Hope things go better later in the day. I mean, I'm never putting that hand on set over set over set, right? I'm not putting that on a set over set. Never mind set over set over set. I'm always, if I'm beat there, I'm always assuming I'm going to be beat by straight, right? Like always. Um, and if I get run out on later, I always assume that I'm going to be up against a draw of some kind, like the club draw. Um, that sort of thing, right? Straight, straight draw, straight in the club draw at that point. Ace, whatever the seven or whatever the middle card would have been to make the gut shot straight draw there of clubs. Um, you know, those sorts of hands is well, but I never expect to see set over set over set there. Like the odds of that are vanishingly small. However, not as I was quick to point out, absolutely 100%, not zero. larger than 0. So that means, once in a while, you're going to be in a set over set over set hand on the flop. This could be a hand developing here. I called pre-flop. Raise, call, call. Huh. So raise, call, call. Pot into 3 players. That feels like a pair that's under the queen, right? And we have the best pair under the queen. So I'm probably just fucking lighting money on fire here, but I feel like I have to call. I feel like my jacks are best here. So I feel like this like 10s, 9s, 8s, that sort of hand. I mean, does it still feel that way? Does ace queen play things this way? I guess aces and kings play things this way. Guess aces and kings play things this way sometimes. Like, I don't know, that feels very weird. Wish I had more read on that player, frankly. Wish I had more read on that player, because I think my jacks were good there. I feel like there's not a lot of hands that they're going to play that way with. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's a second pair on the flop there. Like a pocket pair that's lower than the queen but higher than the other two. I don't know. I mean, I suppose we could have been chopping with jacks and jacks, right? But what the hell happened to my, clearly I've got issues on my, oh, I see what's up with that, I think, maybe. Like, for some reason, there's still a bunch of games. Yeah, I can't work out why I've got all those old games still on the, game list. That's weird. Kenneth Thal, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, big guy? Hope things are good. Well, that's very weird. I don't know why that's going on. Well, I guess we're just fucking losing all our money in the scuffle here against crazy players. Gee, Ellie. Holy mother, we managed to fucking hold somehow there. I don't know how we did that, but we managed to. So that's going to give me a booty. Nice. Like, that was bizarre, I have to say. Oh, wait, that's the... Oh, did I not get that booty? I don't think I got that booty. I think that was the other guy that got that booty. I didn't see a booty indication pop up on my screen. Did I get that booty? I did not get that booty. That was the other player got that booty. Shit. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I can't figure out why my games list is doing what it's doing. Oh, that's why. That's why, Elron, because you're an idiot this morning. That's what you should have guessed that the answer would be because you're an idiot this morning, Elron. That's going to be the answer today, 100% of the time, buddy. Because you're an idiot. There we go. See, easy to fix when I stop being an idiot. Easy to fix when I stop being an idiot, everybody. There you go. So what was wrong with my games list? Is it comes out of a text file that I have. And I have a text editor open while I'm streaming so I can add or take out games as necessary, or as I remember, more likely. And I was looking at the file going, all I see are the 5 games that I've got listed for today. What the hell? I save, look, it's saved. Everything's saved. Everything's right. Everything looks fine. I can't figure out what the hell's going on. I just randomly happened to scroll my mouse while I was over the window. I scrolled down the file somehow, and it was only showing. So there was like 4 lines above the 5 that was showing at the top of the screen in the file. So pretty simple fix once I figured out what the hell was going on. But Crank, how you doing, buddy? Passwords will be a while yet. We're streaming a bit early today, so you got like an hour and a half before any games start. Good luck to you as well today, Crank. Oh, we have to see a flop, but with this, with Babadi here in the big blind, we flop hearts and we're in biz. I mean, I guess Bad's telling me that they've got a hand, but that wasn't necessarily the case last time. They just happened to get there with the straight. Fuck. I mean, I would have been in rough shape to the ace-3 anyways, but oh, floppy McSet's a nice spot to be in here. This is just auto click back here, right? Well, no, not so much anymore. I was expecting a fold from here to 0. I mean, we did have a rather gross spot with the set over set over set spot earlier, but I think I just have to keep going for value here, right? That's not the greatest turn card in the world for me, to be fair. Also not the worst turn card in the world for me, though. Oh, Antsy Pansy, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Been a while since we've seen you pop into chat. What's going on? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just gonna say I had a pretty good day yesterday on the poker streets, both here on Unibat and over on 888. Things have been going great on 888 for ages. Actually, the entire week I've cashed at least one of the maximum 3 games that I played on 888 every day this week, and several days I've cashed multiple times. But my Unibet's been the shites for this week. I haven't actually. Well, I haven't cashed anything, but I think I've cashed like 2 things and not even close to breaking a profit. I had a hell of a time in the 10 euro phase game that was running last week. Happy Ray, how you doing? Good to see you too. Was just not, unable to bag a stack. I'd played how many? How many of these did I play? Let's go poker. Poker Cup. So I ended up with 74 bucks it cost me to bag myself a stack, and the stack I ended up bagging in that was less than a start stack. Bagged it on the second last possible flight, and you start with 20K. I bagged 17K on that day, finally, to have a bag for day two. And I came in. I wasn't the shortest stack to come in on day two. I was the third shortest stack to come in on day two. I assumed I was just going to min cash the thing and be done with it, right? Somehow I woke up with kings and aces in the first orbit. Got my stack up to like 20 big blinds right off the bat, and ran the thing up to like top 100 finish. Yeah, 65th place for 56 bucks. So I did not make a profit on the game. But I lost way less money than it looked like I was going to coming in. So I'm going to call that a win, frankly, and be happy with it. That's especially true when I filter in the fact that I also booked a 10th place yesterday in the Battle Royale for 22 bucks, roughly combined booty and prizes. So yeah, pretty good day yesterday. I was third in the $1 knockout game yesterday as well for 13 bucks. And bringing my 888 bankroll almost back up to 100 again. I'm at like 97 now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, decent day yesterday. I was quite surprised with my ability to run it up in the phase game, phase two of the phase game. Given that I came in with fumes, basically. I just run with the cards, right? I got super lucky kings and aces in the first round. All right, well, enjoy your food, my friend. Yeah, I'm shaving down the beard and the mustache too. If you come back for the next couple of months, one of these days, you might just see me without any facial hair whatsoever, which could be a bit of a shock to the system. But we'll see how it goes. I've been thinking about it for a while now. I think this year is gonna be like I do it every once in a while. But I'm pretty sure I haven't shaved my face since I started streaming here on Unibet. So, but yeah, I've definitely been trimming it down quite a bit. It was I used to keep it quite a bit longer than this. We all need some time off. We all need some time off from time to time. Says the guy who hasn't taken time off poker in 3 years in various ways. I have a unique spot. Well, it's probably not unique, but it's a pretty special spot in poker where, yes, my life pretty much revolves around poker being the focus of many of the activities that I do, and pretty much all of the activities that I do for my living. Um, but I have three different ways that I interact with the game. I have at least three different ways that I interact with the game, and those interactions are viscerally different to me in the way that I experience what I'm doing and how it's going. So it's not like I'm going from poker to poker to poker. It's like I'm going from um, playing poker to streaming to writing, writing slash live reporting. Um, so, and all of those things give me a completely different um, return on what I'm doing. So, and they provide me a different experience of the game. So I find them quite like I don't find it to be the same all the time, which is one of the things I was concerned about. But because of the variety in how I interact with poker, the fact that poker is a central part of my life at the moment isn't overwhelming in the way that it might be. Shopper! Did Shopper show? I did not see Shopper. Did Shopper come in and say hello as well? I'm sorry if I missed you popping in, Shopper. But yes, Shopper is back. Shopper was back on Saturday saying hello, playing some games with us. I mean, to be fair, I have a lot going on in my life that doesn't involve poker. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm just like poker 24/7. Um, like, once I finish streaming and any revenue generating work that I have to do or that I am scheduled to do surrounding poker, um, I pretty much turn the poker off and I'll be off watching YouTube videos about cosmology or religion or history or um, Star Trek or any one of a number of other potential subgenres, subtopics on YouTube, or I'll be playing a game, or I'll be writing something for personal choice, or I'll be doing some graphics work, or I'll be doing some 3D design work, or I might be recording a video for another purpose. There's all sorts of things that I'm doing that are non-poker related that do give me a break in my life. So don't get the impression that I'm just 24/7 poker. That's not the case. If I was 24/7 poker, I would destroy my brain, I think. And that's always been the case with me. No matter what I do, if I throw myself, I'm inclined to throw myself into things 100% complete focus. I've discovered in my life that when I do that, everything suffers. Not only the thing that I'm focusing on 100%, but also everything else, obviously, because I suppose I should have said that the other way around. Not only everything else that I'm not focusing on anymore, but actually the thing, weirdly enough, that I focus on ends up suffering down the road because it just overwhelms me and I just become sick of it, basically, right? Because it's 100% of my being. Pansy, thank you so much for the sub, my friend. That is awesome. Welcome aboard. Um, so yeah, it's always been super important for me to have side activities, things that I can focus attention on, so that I intentionally don't go completely 100% tunnel vision um, into like into madness kind of thing. Um, So yeah, there's always these other little things on the side that kind of keep me sane. Um, help. Well, I mean, your mileage may vary on my level of sanity, but keep me as sane as I possibly can be, and as you know, as the person who appears before you seems. um, so there's yeah, so I've always had a bunch of other things. When I was doing sysadmin, that's one of the reasons why. It's one of the. I mean, there's a list of probably 5 or 6 key reasons why I started doing why I did stand up comedy. Um, One of the ones on that list for key reasons was because I needed some creative outlet that was completely separate from the computer IT world, to focus some of my creative energy and attention on that was not getting properly utilized by my focus on the IT side of things. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's like a specific coping strategy that I've developed over my years. I have never played any of the Diablo games. I know that's going to come as a shock to people. Um, there was a time when I was into those sorts of games, but Diablo was never a series I got into. Um, and now I don't think I've played, like, very rarely will I. The games I play now are pretty much all um, large scale sim games in some form or another. Like I play Transport Fever 2, Transport Fever on Twitch, or not Twitch, on Steam, um, which, there's a map and a bunch of cities and resources and things scattered around the map, and you have to build transportation networks to. And I know that there's people in the audience that are listening to this description going, that sounds like worse than watching paint dry. And I totally get where you're coming from in that, in because I can totally flip my mind over into the mindset that would look at a simulation like that and go, how can you spend hours? It's I find it endlessly fascinating. Um, Games like Civilization, SimCity. There's a new one on the horizon called Cities 2. I played the original, or City Skylines was the original, and I played that one, and it was one of the better um, one of the better city simulators I've played in my life. It still had a few problems, and those problems eventually made it so that I wasn't that interested in continuing playing it past certain points. Um, but the media I've seen about the new version, they've actually addressed at least a couple of those specific issues that I had. So I'll be curious to see how well they've addressed those particular issues. But like those sorts of games, I can trace lines back 40 years, um, to original versions of those games that I played. Um, I'm regularly playing Civilization 6 still. I can trace my gameplay back through pretty much every iteration of Civilization to the original Civ. Um, okay, Cities and City Skylines is a new franchise over SimCity. But I can trace my city building back directly to the original Sim City. Um, Transport Fever. Again, it's somewhat of a new franchise. Um, but back in the day, there was games called Railroad and Transport Tycoon that I can trace back to playing in the least the 90s for Transport Tycoon. Late 90s for that one. So yeah, it's kind of the most of the games I play today, I've played iterations of for 40 years of my life, almost. So I don't know what that says about my personality, but Dip Taz, how you doing, my happy penguin friend? I just had a mini panic about coming up to a break and going, oh my god, I haven't put out a password for you guys yet. And I'm like, it's because you started an hour early, Ellie, and there is no password to this break. That's next break. Next break, you have to freak out about forgetting to put the password in chat. One of the nice things about the writing job I currently have, writing reporting stuff for poker, is that it does scratch a lot of the creative itches that I was not getting scratched very well in my IT work. But it's still not complete. I mean, there's still stuff that I like to do creatively that doesn't fit into people paying me to create poker content. So there's always going to be a little bit of that's a sideline um, for creative outlets that isn't directly related to the revenue I do. I mean, I think that's always going to be the case. Maybe there'll be a time when all the creative work I do generates revenue for me, but that seems unlikely. I do a lot of really weird stuff on my own. Putting in the money here with the suited Jack's ass. Jackie's ass. We're not in terrible shape here, actually. We are not in terrible shape here, actually. We are in terrible shape here, actually, now, though. Now we're in terrible shape. All right, well, GG Ellie in the €2 PKO. No, we're not going to rebuy in a PKO. Thank you very much. Not that one. Not so late. Right, so it is break time. I am going to head off to the break, and I will see you guys back in just a few short minutes. Right, we are back. We are down to 2 games. We're out of the classic PKO, as you guys just saw, but we're still playing the Battle Royale and the Scuffle. We got scuffled early. Sat over sat over sat, but we doubled up pretty nicely, tripled up pretty nicely in the Battle Royale, so we're sitting in pretty good shape in that one. Just the one that I bubbled the final table of yesterday. So, all right, enjoy, Hansi. I mean, yeah, there's a point to that, Hansi, as well. That the fact that I'm playing rebooted versions of classic games tells you that nobody's come up with a really good, unique game idea that has grabbed me in the modern world. To be fair, I think that's partly because my game tastes are like I'm not. There are new games that intrigue the fuck out of me. I will say, but because of the formats of them, of the story formats of the games, in many cases of the new stuff, I'm so daunted by the idea of getting into it, given how little free time I have already. One of the things I love about simulation games that I play is I can stop and start them whenever I fucking please. Right? I can play an hour of Transport Fever 2. I can play 6 hours of Transport Fever 2. Um, and there's really no difference in like I can if something comes up while I'm playing the game, I can just save, click, stop, and out I go. While that's largely true in all computer games, it's much harder to do, I find, in a story-based, objective-based game where you're following trails and paths, and whether it's a first-person shooter that you're trying to navigate dungeons and levels and things like that, or whether it's like a RPG type game where you're exploring story items and unpacking scenes and things like that. Um, just the level of commitment that you have to put into games. So one of the reasons why I don't play my Elite Dangerous very much anymore. I mean, I love the game, but just the amount of man hours that you have to invest in the game just to basically be moderately competent at it is absurd. And I mean, the reward was there when I was playing it on a regular basis, but it was also taking up, like, it was also the thing that was taking up inordinate amounts of my personal life. So yeah, it's one of the reasons why I haven't gone to many new games is because the time commitment involved is just too daunting for me. Whereas, like I say, I know I can pick up the new version of Civ or a new city building game, and I know I can get into it and out of it whenever I want because that's the way those games are designed. Weirdly enough, you'd think one of my litany of game franchises that I would have had a bunch of in my life would have been Star Trek games. The truth of that is no. First of all, most Star Trek games that have been produced have been laughably horrible. Um, and even the ones that tried to replicate the actual experience. I mean, I remember there was a text-based game back on the old mainframe, back in the old mainframe days called Track. Um, that was just like quadrants of space with asterisks for stars and things. It was like the most bizarre. And I mean, it was a fun little diversion. But the only thing that made it Trek was the fact that it was called Trek and it had things like the Enterprise was the ship that you were flying, and that sort of thing. And you'd meet Klingons, which were like a Y shape, and I think a Y character on your text grid. I mean, for like 1970s mainframe mini computer type stuff, it's actually like a fucking really innovative use of ASCII graphics back in the day, frankly. Um, but even then, at the time, it was like, well, they can call this Trek as much as they want. It's not a fucking Star Trek game, though. Even by the time we get to the point where we can make Star Trek games. Like there's a Star Trek Online game that people rave about, and I've gone in and looked at it, and it's exactly my complaint about every other new game that I've looked at now. The time commitment that I have to make to build a character to get into any of the things that look interesting, like appears to be way too much for me to even think about committing at this stage in my life. Um, and here's the ultimate problem with Star Trek games, I think. The Star Trek universe is only a really fun place to be if you're the captain or the first officer or part of the away team crew, right? If you're Ensign Joe Random who punches keys at a secondary bridge console station, even as a bridge officer, even on the bridge, if you're one of the secondary guys sitting at one of the consoles that never gets featured, just kind of punching buttons in the background. Honestly, how exciting is your life in Starfleet? Is your life in Starfleet? Your life in Starfleet is boring as fuck. And if you're playing a game where you're Ensign Joe nobody sitting sitting at the third science station on the bridge, how exciting is that gameplay going to be for you? Well, you sit there punching your communications buttons or your science buttons as everybody else is making decisions around you in the all the NPCs, captains and stuff so the whole conceit of a Star Trek game is that you actually have to be the captain of your ship, or at least one of the central characters of the ship, not one of the hundreds of other ancillary characters around those central characters, in order for it to be an interesting style game. So that's always made the Star Trek games kind of weird and contrived to me, because like any Star Trek game where you start off as like an ensign in the academy or whatever, that in very short order you're going to be a decorated ensign on a fast track to lieutenant, who's also a primary member of a bridge crew that goes off and does interesting, exciting things, right? TDK, how you doing, buddy? Welcome aboard. Good to see you as well. And Giggles, welcome aboard. Good to see you too. Sorry, I was in the midst of Star Trek rants, which you know how those can get. You know how those can get. So yeah, there's not been a Star Trek game that's been put out in the entire history of computer gaming that I've seen that I've really enjoyed. Star Wars, on the other hand, had at least one game. It was either called X-Wing or TIE Fighter. I think there might actually be two games, one called TIE Fighter, one called X-Wing. And I'm pretty sure X-Wing was the one that I played. one of the first incarnations of a real-time block, solid shaded 3D design shooter game to come out. And this would have been mid 90s, maybe even early-ish 90s. And yeah, I was just astonished to be on a 386 computer at the time piloting an X-Wing where you could come in on freighters, and the Death Star run, of course, is in there, and the solid graphics and the speed that they were able to manage that for the day was just utterly phenomenal. And this was about 10 or 15 years ago that I booted it up again, and it actually holds up really well as well. I thought for a very basic system. So yeah, there's actually been Star Wars games that I've thoroughly, but Star Trek, there's never been a game that I've really enjoyed with it. I did not play Elite Force. I don't believe. Like, one of the things that makes me like Elite Dangerous over any Star Trek game that I've played is that I'm in command of the ship, but unlike the conceit of Star Trek, where I'm in command of a ship of hundreds of minions underneath of me who do my bidding, I'm in control of a one-man ship for the most part in Elite Dangerous, and I go off and I do. And then the other side of it is, like, if you're doing a Star Trek game, you're going to have obviously some choices, but you're going to be taking on Starfleet missions to go off and do Starfleet things, right? I can literally chart my own path in Elite Dangerous. There's choices of things that I can do, but like, I can be a trader, I can be an explorer, I can be a combat person. That sounds like I have three choices, and kind of does. But if I'm a trader, I can be a trader in rare goods. I can be a slave trader if I want. I can specialize in contraband goods. I can be goody two shoes and never transport those sorts of things. And doing all of that changes the nature and caliber of the game that you're playing. If I'm a combat specialist, right, I can be a mercenary where I'm hiring myself out for kill and capture missions. On the other hand, I can be a pirate where I'm going to end up being the target of those kill and capture missions that the mercenaries are getting hired for. There are even spots where I can literally become a federal agent and patrol space stations and things like that. So there's so much. No, yeah, and that's so true, Diptez. That is so true. Making a game around a franchise is ridiculously hard. Making a franchise out of a good game mechanic and story is a whole lot easier, right? I mean, just look at games like Quake and look at the Diablo series and all those series are their own creations. They're not brought in from outside. So yeah, that's so true. There's also the other side of that, not just the mechanic. dipped has, but just the aesthetic of the game can put off hardcore fans of a franchise, right? I mean, if you don't get, like, if you try to make a Star Trek game and you don't get it right, Star Trek fans are nasty fucking people, okay? Like if they don't like what you're doing, they're gonna fucking tell you about it, and they're not gonna hold back. They're not gonna hold back on you either. So like if you create a Star Trek game and you decide to tweak the ships or something, so there's like a new look that's your own, while you still think it's you better be fucking 100% certain of that, because there's going to be fans out there that go, that's not fucking Star Trek anymore, buddy, and we don't like it. So yeah, I mean, just look at the new shows, right? Just look at the new track. There's so many people out there that are just like, it doesn't look like TNG, which of course is hilarious because when TNG came out, there was people that were like, it doesn't look like TOS, so we don't like it. I swear to God, the newspaper articles are out there. You can find them. It's the the complaints over Modern Track are exactly the same as the complaints over the Next Generation when it first came out, 100%. And actually of Voyager and DS9 too, because both of those got critically, well, no, they got decent critical reviews. They got panned by fans for pandering to. Well, it wasn't wokeness at the time. It was being politically correct for having a black and female captain leads for the shows. And that was all over the coverage of the start of DS9 and Voyager. So yeah, it's making new shows making new anything in a franchise is ridiculously hard because fans, and especially something like Star Trek, because fans are just so picky about what is and what isn't Star Trek, and we see it like constantly, right? So doing it for a game that you're just kind of inventing out of thin air is going to be super tricky. Aesthetically, mechanically, the whole thing is just going to be really hard. I have played a few shooter games that I quite enjoyed. There's Quake, obviously. I played a few versions of Quake. We used to, one of the things we used to do in the wintertime when things were slow at the base and there was no training on, was we'd play Quake Arena in deathmatch mode with all the IT guys in the back. Just basically, 6 hours of blowing the shit out of each other, which was then thereafter billed as network stability testing. I mean, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. We were ensuring the stability of our network by playing Quake 3 across it, but creative timekeeping is what I like to call it. So played a fair bit of Quake. Played a fair bit of Doom in my time. There was a game called Descent. They're making a new version for a while, actually. I was looking at it. I don't know if it's come out yet or not. I'm not sure it would be as something that I would enjoy as much as I did back in the day because my reflexes aren't quite the same, and it's definitely a reflex game. But instead of being a person trudging along holding weapons in front of you, you're flying a little tunnel ship, basically, is all I can call it, through these underground mines. And you don't really have to worry about hitting the walls or going off going off walls or things like that. It's weirdly the way the ship is designed and things like that. But the action is just incredible because you'll be going through these hallways, come out into big rooms, and there'll be other floating ship-like robot things that are suddenly shooting at you. And yeah, that one was one that I really enjoyed a lot. I played that one for like hours at a time. That's would be my time in Africa, so mid '90s. I would guess I was playing that one, late '90s. Yeah, probably later than earlier. There haven't really been a lot of RPGs that I've gotten into. I was never an EverQuest or any of those early ones. I was never part of those games. And yeah, I've never really been. I don't think I've ever owned a version of GTA, but I have played a reasonable amount of it on um, other people's machines, other people's game consoles. Um, and while there are tons of aspects of the game that I am not at all, uh, that I don't enjoy at all, frankly, um, the concept of an open world game set in a city like that is something that frankly fascinates me. And if there was a game where it was GTA like, but far less focused on crime and violence, and I don't really know how you do that. I don't really know what your objectives, et cetera, are in a game like that to keep it interesting and fascinating. But I would be very much interested in something like that. Like I love the open world aspect of GTA. I love being able to drive my car around anywhere I want to go, um, and stop anywhere, get out, walk around, get back in the car, drive off again. That aspect for some reason of the world just really appeals to me. Um, and the fact that I'm not going from place to place to, although I mean obviously you would do this in some of the cases where you go place to place to solve a specific mission, but that's not all you would do. Like in GTA there are game modes where you just sort of have to drive around until something happens, right? Um, or you do other things until something interesting happens. So yeah, I mean, I would honestly play a game as long as it wasn't something where I was having to be at it all the time in real time. I'd love to play a game where I lived in a city and I had like a car and I could drive around the city and I could walk around the city and there were like maybe a convenience store I could work in or things like that if that was what I wanted to do or just, whatever sort of city things there are. Second Life does a little bit of that in some places. Um, but it's still not like because it's a game within a game sort of thing. It's not. It's like it can never be done as perfectly as I want. So yeah, a game like that. Actually, I don't know how many of you guys remember Davich, but back in the Davich days, after he sort of stopped streaming poker or started not liking poker as much, I can't remember the name of the game he was streaming, but it was a first person shooter that he was playing, but it was set in this kind of post apocalyptic cityscape place. And of course, being a modern first-person shooter, part of the gameplay is kind of walking around the city area, clearing buildings and examining things and stuff. And as I'm watching him play this game, my only thought was I would fucking like the graphics of the city were stunning. The way that they rendered the city was stunning. And my only thought was I'd fucking love this game if instead of being a first-person shooter where I'm killing everything that moves, um, that wasn't actually the case in this game. You were trying to protect some people by killing terrorists, but whatever. Um, Rather than it being that, give me the cityscape that's either completely empty, um, that's either completely empty, or it's got these pockets of like survivor people in it or whatever. Um, but my purpose isn't to be like this super soldier that's killing everything that's but the purpose is to either yourself or with other players that join you in the game or NPCs. The point is to figure out what happened, why this. Nobody knows how the city got into this state. Nobody knows why it's in this situation. And that's the point of the game. So something like that I think would be fascinating because you can spend your time wandering around specifically trying to solve the question of the game. But equally, I would want a game where equally I could just wander aimlessly around the city without really fear too much of being randomly killed by sniping terrorists or whatever. Obviously having to, it's a post-apocalyptic city, so there's going to be dangers that I have to watch out for. But, not specifically not like gangs of soldiers with high-tech weaponry trying to kill me from distances and things like that, right? Um, more of a mystery game than a shooter game, I guess. But yeah, part of the mode I think would be just exploring the city and trying to learn, not just learn about what happened to the city, but learn about the city itself. Because ideally, the ultimate solution for the game would be something rooted in the city's identity. So exploring the city would be like exploring parts of the city that don't directly relate to the mystery would still help you solve the mystery, if that makes sense. Obviously, what I'm explaining is really hard to actually do in graphics, but yeah, I mean the original GTA's, what they did with computers at the time was just ridiculous, right? Um, Vilfado, I have no idea what you mean by most, Lee. I am completely baffled by that, my friend. But welcome aboard. Good to see you here on the Mothership. First time chatter. There's Forza Horizons games that are kind of similar, at least in the sense of being an open world driving simulation, open-ish world driving simulation. Um, the problem with the Forza Horizons games is that there's literally nothing to do in the world if you're not going to take their challenges and do their races and do the specific stuff that they've got set up for you. There's like almost nothing to do in the world. I mean, that's not 100% true. You can just drive around and random NPCs or online players will challenge you to races as your like impromptu races on the quote unquote open roads of the game. Um, so that's kind of a cool feature. I don't need to shove that. So that's kind of a cool feature of those, but it's still not really an open world game in the same sense that I like an open world game would include all of that driving around and challenging other drivers for races, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but I could also pull over and stop and park in a parking lot somewhere and go hang out in a bar for an hour if I wanted to, or go work in the bar for an hour and serve drinks to somebody if I want. Those sorts of things would be part of the game too. Hey, Mikey, how you doing, buddy? Welcome, welcome. Good to see ya. So yeah, a game like that. Although again, I caution that that game could come out, and I might have a look at it and go, yeah, it looks fascinating, but I don't have the time I need to jump into it. That said, I do sort of think that game is kind of comes close to my simulation that I can jump into, jump out of when I want, because you could just sort of be, exploring a random exploring, let's go, okay, I'm going to go in for an hour and explore this block. I know this is where I left myself off in the game. Let's go back in. We know there's another block down the street. Let's go have a look at that one, right? So I think you could do it in a much less um, controlled fashion. There would obviously be a few of the quests I think that would probably still be, you once you get on it, you want to do it to the end. Um, but I'd want to make sure that the game was set up in a way that even those you could save halfway through and still be able to come back and work with them. But then again, I've also been dreaming of a universe sim since I started playing simulation games. Because you might have noticed that I play a variety of different levels of simulation games. I play world simulation games, I play city simulation games, and I play more granular um, uh, simulation games. Um, and weirdly enough, Elite Dangerous is straddles both ends of that. It's both an individual sim because you're literally playing as one person, but it's also like a galactic sim that has all these worlds. And it was actually when the first version of Elite, when I was playing it, that I was thinking, because I was playing it. Well, no, it wouldn't be the first version. It'd be like the second version of Elite when the idea came to me. Because I would have been playing the first version of SimCity at the time as well, and the first version of Civilization too. Um, and the thought was, we need a game where that's all in one game, right? Where I can fly around in my spaceship, um, and there's worlds being built all over the place, Civilization style, that I can then zoom down in to see SimCity style cities and regions of the worlds being built and constructed. Hey, 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 shopper! I never played Carmageddon, Pansy. That one's never one I played. The car games, most of my car simulations have been fairly specific race type simulations. I should have shoved that King 9 actually with six bigs. Um, so I started off as a Need for Speed fanatic, and I must have played 3 or 4 or 5 versions of Need for Speed at least, I think. Um, And since then, it's mostly been Forza. There was a fairly cool Need for Speed World game that came out for a while. The sad part of it was a micropayment game, um, but it was an open world racing model and an open world driving model that actually I really liked. I wish it had been a more I wish it had been more involved graphics wise and a better sim. It was more of an arcade style than a sim style as far as like the actual driving conditions were concerned. Um, One of the things I like about Forza is that not Forza Horizons, but the actual Forza 5 that I have is the car replication is astonishingly good. And I think I've said this before, but I know that because um, I can drive my real life car in the game, and I was stunned at how similar it looks and feels while I'm sitting behind my steering wheel here in my office versus in my actual vehicle. It's eerie actually how similar it is. So I really love those sorts of really direct simulation games for the driving side of it. And I like to be able to get like I was never sure. Yeah, no, we're not going to rebuy a third time in this one. GG Ellie in the scuffle. Um, like I'm never in my life most likely going to be able to test drive a Ferrari Testarossa the way that I drive it in the game. And to be fair, I can't test drive my own Veloster um, in the real world in the way that I drive it in the game either, because I drive it in the game in ways that would get me arrested if I drove it in the real world, and probably killed actually myself and others, frankly, because I don't drive nearly as well in the real world as I do in video games. Um, so I do think this is another tangent. I do think actually that video games can be very good educational tools and teaching tools for people. Um, and I think that's probably even true for driving simulations. Frankly, that you can set up a driving simulation that's going to be very good to teach people how to drive cars. Um, Racing simulations on the computers are a horrible way to teach people how to drive cars in the real world, and I'll tell you why. Um, Maybe I'm the only one that plays racing simulations this way. Um, but I'm convinced I'm not the only person that plays racing simulations this way. If I took my real car or any real car to a real racetrack, the way that I would approach how to drive that track would be to go out on the first day and drive it at normal fucking car speeds. Okay. I want to see where the corners are. I want to see what the camber of the corners are. I want to see how bumpy the track is. I want to know all of these things before I take the car out at high speeds. The second time I go out, I'm going to take the car out at 30 to 40% above my normal driving speed. Figure out where the corners are that I'm going to have to take slower than I initially thought. Corners that looked like I was going to have to come down really tight, where I can actually go take a wider line in some cases and get more speed out of them. Those sorts of things I can figure out as I bump it up to 30-40%. It's going to take me 6-7 practice runs at least before I am even close to comfortable trying to go flat out at as fast a speed as I could possibly go in my car or in any car on that live track. Okay. So that's how I would approach it if I was taking a real car to a real track. How do I approach it in Forza? I jump in a new car in Forza, and I jump on a new track in Forza, and I floor the fucker, and I crash into the wall, usually on the first corner, and I go, okay, that didn't work. So we go, okay, I'm gonna have to come down. We're probably gonna have to downshift. We're probably gonna have to downshift one more gear going into that corner and brake for another half second coming into that corner. And the second or third time through, I make it through the first corner at pretty close to what will be the top speed that I end up finishing the track at. And that iterates through the rest of the track, right? So here's the thing: if I actually took my driving style from Forza to the real world, I'd literally die the first time I got into a race car, because I would drive it fucking straight into the wall of the first corner, at way faster than I should be trying to take that corner, and I'd be dead. And if I wasn't dead, they wouldn't fucking allow me on a racetrack ever again in my existence, right? So yeah, I don't actually think racing simulations are a good way to teach people how to drive in the real world. I think they're the opposite of a good way to teach people how to drive in the real world. But it's a very efficient way to learn how to drive a racetrack at high speed, assuming you can survive catastrophic crashes on a regular basis, which you can in video games and you can't in the real world. Yeah, there is that, having to dig through the magazines to find the right cheat code. I mean, that is a good point, Shopper, you know. But yeah, I mean, like, I totally don't drive the same way in the real world that I drive in Forza, frankly. I'm way more aggressive in Forza. I mean, I will nudge other cars off the track in Forza, um, which, you can actually do if you know what you're doing, and sometimes it depends on the car type that they're in. But, you use your nose to tap car in the right spot at the back end, and he's in the middle of a corner, and he's not going anywhere. He's not finishing the corner. He's ending up in the spinning off the track. I usually only do that to NPCs. Like, I don't usually do that when I'm racing against real people, because it's kind of dickish. But but yeah, I'm like hyper aggressive. Like, I'd never do that in the real world, right? But I'm like hyper aggressive in games like Forza. Oh, well, here we go. Middle set. We know what happened last time we flopped middle set. Do you guys remember what happened last time we flopped middle set? What happened last time we flopped middle set? Last time we flopped middle set, we were set over set over set, with obviously our middle set not being the top of that heap of sets. Are you kidding me? This is not happening twice in one day, right? This is not happening twice in one day. Quads will do, though. Quads will do. $1.25. First booty blood today. It's pretty close to password time now as well, isn't it? So let's get the password for you fine folks. I don't know actually if all of you are worth 3 fines. I think most of you probably are, you know. Right. Oh, everybody, you have passwords. I would like to take my real car. Well, no, actually, my real car is 12 years old, has 200,000 kilometers on it. So I wouldn't actually like to take my specific real car. I'd like to take a version, a race, a, it wouldn't even have to be a race version of the Veloster, but the something that's new, freshly tuned, and intended to go. Um, if not intended to go on a track, then at least in prime condition to be on a track. Um, but I would really like to give it a try on some sort of not on an oval. I have no interest in driving ovals. That seems utterly boring to me. Um, but on some F1 track somewhere, I would love to. Like one of the tracks that I love driving in Forza 5 is the Nürburgring in Germany, which is no longer used for F1, but it's just an astonishingly fun track to drive. I totally makes sense that it's not used anymore because it would be a nightmare to try to make that as safe as it needs to be for F1 today. But of course, it's a video game, so I don't really give a crap about safety, right? That's irrelevant to me. And it's both a stunning track as far as the scenery that it's set in, but also just the track itself is so much fun to drive. The rises, the falls, the way the corners are. It's just might be one of the best tracks in the world, frankly. And they actually nowadays it's not an F1 track, but they use it for they open it for you can take your streetcar on there once somebody inspects it for you at the track. Um, Although most people will have either rent or have their own little souped up car that they take out for track day kind of thing. Um, but I would love to take a Veloster around Nürburgring a couple of times. Um, I've watched a couple of YouTube videos. One of the other striking things I find about Forza, not only are the car simulations really good, I've watched some in-car video of people driving Velosters around Nürburgring for real on YouTube. And my God, how close it looks to me driving on the Forza 5 Nürburgring track in my Veloster in the game is ridiculous. Um, there's been some upgrades to the track since Forza 5 came out, so there's a few differences. There's a few places where it's clearly different, but that just highlights how similar the other sections still look, and how it's ridiculously well done for a computer game. Yagarino, how you doing? Welcome aboard, buddy. But yeah, someday I would like to take my car or any car out onto a track like that just to see what it feels like to go. Nürburgring would be a good one to do because I do sort of know the track. I obviously would never go out on there first try and just pound pedal the metal. That's ridiculous. First of all, the first reason I would never do that is because I actually play Forza. Um, I play Forza with simulation turned up to full on the hardest level, and I drive quite well. However, I have one cheat enabled while I do that, and that is auto braking. Uh, and that's mostly because of my particular steering wheel and pedal combination. The steering wheel aspect of it is great. The pedals are pretty crap, frankly. So until I upgrade those, that's actually my excuse. The truth is, braking is actually the hardest part of driving a race car. And having the computer auto brake for me in situations where the line indicates that I should be braking makes it way easier to drive these cars in a full simulation mode. So translate that back to my real world analogy, where not only it's one of the reasons why I can take that like stomp on the gas when I get on the track for the first time in a game and take that first corner, because I know that the game's going to brake for me for the most part. My trick isn't finding the right speed so much. My trick is finding the right gear and the right line coming into the corner for that, because I know that the game is for the most part going to put me at the right speed if I'm on the right line. Real cars don't do that in the real world, surprisingly enough. You actually have to hit the brakes yourself. There is no auto brake button that you can push on a Veloster or a Ferrari in the real world, right? So yeah, that would be one of those things I'd have to figure out as I went around the track, is that how aggressively you have to hit the brakes coming into some of these hairpin turns. Break time coming soon. Password is in chat, by the way. Did I tell you guys that? Password is in chat. You can get yourself into the game as you wish. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but if I did not, it's there. You may partake of said password as you so desire. Meanwhile, I'm hopefully going to partake of this pot before we head to break. Yeah. Yeah, your rules do sound a bit stupid, Hensey. I guess they just have a 5 here sometimes, but oh well. GG chips. All right, it is break time, so I will see you guys back in a few short moments. We're back. Set roll coming up shortly, so yeah, the Belgian rules do seem kind of fucked. I mean, I don't want to judge, but hey, listen, just so everyone knows, shortly after the top of the next hour, I will be shutting down the stream. I'm going to be playing the launch pad with you guys, but I'm not going to be streaming for most of it. Just because I have to start working at 2 p.m. my time, so I need to do a few things before work begins. So we'll be shutting down at the top of the hour. That's one of the reasons I kicked off early today. Probably will kick off early on at least some of the days over the next couple of weeks. I don't know if I'll do it on all the days because I'm not always ready that early, but there might actually be days that I miss streaming over the next couple of weeks too. Just so you guys are aware. They'll probably come up on a random basis on the day, but it'll be because I have too many other things going on as well. We have set roll action on our screens, everybody. Let's put it up for you two. There we go. Good luck to you guys getting yourself a Stratosphere ticket. Y'all took 10 euros of my cold hard cash last weekend because I wasn't able to get a ticket, and then I wasn't able to cash in anything, and I had to buy twice. So, pretty typical outing for me in the Stratosphere. And for the 9 players that cashed, you're welcome for the 10 euro donation from the streamer. Once again, this week there will be a 10 euro donation from the streamer if need be in the Stratosphere prize pool. I don't always fire 2 bullets, but when I do, I usually don't cash. I'm not sure if that's the way that meme's supposed to go, but there is a local clock on my stream, Diptaz. Look at the top right corner of the poker table. That tells you exactly what time it is in my local time. So yeah, it's up there as part of the tournament name. Texas Hold'em 1000, well, in this, the one that's showing, Texas Hold'em Elrond's Stratosphere Set Roll 1206 MDT. Indeed, Unibet gives you the clock. Never noticed that. It's funny what you can sit there and stare at for ages and not notice. I do the same thing. I think I shall put 4 big blinds in with my pocket kingerinos here in the cent roll. What do you think? What are you thinking about, Moofy? What are you thinking about here, Moofy? Are you just timing out because you're not paying attention, or are you actually thinking about shoving on me? Well, that's a shitty flop for pocket kings, but I think we're going to see about it anyways. It's not so shitty of a flop for my range. Meanwhile, I'm going a double booty hunting here. Looks like we are double bootying the shit out of things here, everybody. I like it. 125 plus 125. I like it. I like it. I like it. And third place chip stack at the same time, which is not a terrible thing. I, for the record, had to fold out of my hand on the cent roll. GG Kings. Moisty Moisty, how you doing, buddy? Good to see ya. Hope life is great for you as well. The gang is all here. Only missing the cat. Cat's probably over in Ian's stream today, I would guess. That's where I'm gonna send you guys, for the record, at the top of the hour. We're gonna go over and raid the Simpione man. Three of 49 now with 20 players paid in. Holy shit, that's a big field. How much fucking money did we get in this prize pool? Huh, $1,000. 20 paid seems like a lot for this game. Maybe maybe my brain is off, but 20 paid seems big. Anyways, 20 paid in this one. We are 26 away from the money now. 846 min cash, $97 up top for the win. I was third in this one yesterday, so we're on pace to do roughly the same again today. Hopefully we can go a little. Hopefully we can go a little bigger than third. First would be nice. Make my second major title if I can take this one down. Yeah. What? You didn't see the Green Rhino shopper? It's right there. It's right there. It's been there for like the entire fucking time I've been streaming. Like all 4 years. The Green Rhino's right there, buddy. Come on. You're telling me you've never noticed the Green Rhino? Back in the early days, actually, clock was one of the things I did put on the stream. Um, but then I realized it was just on the poker table, so kind of kind of a useless waste of extra space. Yeah, that's the way you got to look at it. That's the way I always look at it, Moisty. It's even if I'm losing at poker, I'm still in a position where I have the privilege of playing a game. You know, just so long as it's not impacting your larger life with the money you're spending or the time or the mood swings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Oh, bot run. Thanks for that. Thanks for that little addition there of on topic conversation, my friend. Bot run on form today. There was a brief period of time here on the mothership where we did spend an inordinate amount of time speaking about seeing other people's organs. So I can't blame Botron entirely for that random comment, although he's digging pretty far back in the back of the archives for that conversation, if my memory is serving correctly. So yeah, we'll be live here long enough for me to get the Launchpad password in the chat. Then I'll be heading us over to the Simpione stream at that point. Although that might be a bad idea because hopefully people won't be over there bugging Ian for my password. Hopefully they will know to look in my chat, not Ian's chat. Sorry, I'm just checking out what those bings were. Nothing too crucial, it looks like. Except for one email I should have a quick look at, maybe. Oh, no, that's just them telling me it's online. Cool, thank you. Not ideal for a pair of nines, but not terrible for a pair of nines either. We've got double backdoors going there, so as I'm always want to say, two backdoors is way better than one. Oh, guys aren't even watching. There's my two backdoors. There's my two backdoors. No, there was my two backdoors. They no longer exist. Oh, I guess my nines are no good. Oh, hello. 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 Ass und ass. Ass und ass. It takes blinds and antes. Sure, I checked you. I think I might have flopped some draws here. I think I might have some draws. What do you guys think? I think I might have a draw or two here. Well, that's the crappiest of my draws coming in. I guess my 6 was no good. I knew I was sort of turning it into a bluff there, but I guess I have a bit of a bluff catcher there, but we're finding some sets today, everybody. We are finding some sets. I might need to find a pair. Might need to find a paired board here. Might need to find a paired board here. I was going to check raise the turn, but I don't like check raising now. If the board's going to pair, that's the pair I want to see, right? $125. That was a cooler and a half. Well, I do believe that puts me break even for this game so far. €5 to buy in, €5 back in booties so far. $17 away from the money now. Well, that's turned out well for me. Wow. I don't know what the hell happened there, but somehow my table just got super small. One of my tables just got super small. Cool. Well, GG giggles. Maybe not for long for Ellie though, because my money goes in with a call here, and the ace king if somebody shoves on me. See betting that all the time. By the way, we're 2 of 34 over in the Battle Royale now, so 14 off the money spots. Let's head over there for a bit. Still pretty comfy here. We got the big stack on our table though, so probably going to want to avoid getting into situations with them. Based on the songs that are being played in my ears, I am utterly shocked that my add all command added 4 songs to the queue in this case. GL, Kev, and Chinook. I didn't actually mean it, Kev. Nice hand, buddy. Six on the river kills the Elster. Doesn't kill me, I'm still alive. 10 Joey, still in it to win it, everybody. Still in it to win it. Still second in chips over here on the Battle Royale. Oh, the minutiae of editing is so much fun. Just reading a thread about AP style guide recommendations. Woo. Editing other people's writing is much less fun than writing. Although it's not no fun, it's just less fun than writing. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy my life so much now. I actually enjoy the physical act of writing, turning words from my brain into words on, I was going to say words on paper, but of course we don't do that anymore. Words in the ether, out there in the world. Or even just on record somewhere. Like not everything I write goes out into the world. By intention, actually. But sorry, I'm actually asking a minutia question about style right now, so I'll be back with you in a short second. I mean, I'm still with you, obviously, but I do have the club blocker here, so I don't think I have a bet though. I think it's just check back for showdown, right? Oh, it looks like I got moved on the cent roll. I am no longer on the table with. I do, however, have all my chips in the middle with ace six offsuit. Super Cat has called me. I do not think that is a piano cat. There's chops, opportunities. No opportunities for the Elster though. We are done in the cent roll. Good luck, everybody else is still alive and kicking in that one. Meanwhile, I'm 2 of 30, 10 away from the money. Actually, my minutia was on the proper use of names like Vanderstrom. I.e., if I'm talking about a player whose last name is Vanderstrom, I don't capitalize the Van or the Der, but do I when it starts a sentence? I.e., Vanderstrom check raised the flop to 800. And it turns out that's the only case you do capitalize the Van. Although I suppose I could have asked all you fine folks out there, because I'm sure there's 3 or 4 people in chat that could have given me the correct answer to that one. Two of 27 now, down to the final 3 tables. 7 off the Moolah. Happy Ray. GL, Happy Ray. See you at the final table, buddy. See you at the final table. GL, my friend. Good to see you here. Deep in the Battle Royale today. My buddy, Paul Brar, does this tune just for the record. Oh, I also won a 250 euro Supermoon ticket yesterday. So I guess I'm playing in the next Supermoon game. Or at least the next one that I have time off for. Might be the October game that I play. To be honest, I have to look at schedules, but I think I might be busy on the. Never met Otis. I never met Otis. Paul Brar Star, previous song. Put it all in rad. So local poker player. Wouldn't exactly call us close friends, but we are definitely buddies. Hang out when I'm doing the poker. So three of 24 now, four away from the moolah. All that cold hard cash, everybody. 846 for the man, which is pretty good man for a €5 booty game. 97 bucks up top for the win. I don't need to give up chips. They can be bluffing me there, but they don't need to be bluffing me there either. They can have the best hand there too, you know, that can happen. Sometimes they have the best hand, everybody. That's part of poker that you got to learn to deal with. Sometimes you do not have the best hand, and you will not have the best hand. And you will not be able to win the pot. So you just have to get out of the way. Go, good game. You can take it this time. It's yours. Right, well, we're going to head off to a break here in a few minutes. I'm going to come back at the top of the break. We're going to get the launch pad up and running. And then I'm going to bugger off, send you guys over to the Simpione stream happening next door. And I'm going to bugger off and go do my shit. Well, I'm not actually going to bugger off. I'm actually going to still be sitting here at the chair. I just can't have the camera on me and can't be talking to you guys while I'm getting set up doing the other stuff. I can be playing because I can be walking back and forth and coming here when I hear the noises. So yeah. Password for the launch pad is in the chat, everybody. LP 145141. Get yourself in that game. 6 more tickets to the Stratosphere up for grabs at the end point. Rebuy add-on version today. 10 cents to get in. All the 10-cent rebuys you need. And another 10-cent add-on at the end of it all for double the chips. Not double your chips at the time, of course. Double the start chips. So I won't be with you all for that much longer today because I have things that need to get done. But right, we are breakage time, so I'm going to head off. We're 3 of 24. We're still 4 off the money here in the Battle Royale, but good chance. Good chance I'm going to cash this one again today. Don't know if we're going to get to the final table or not, but that'd be very cool. Anyways, I am off. I will see you guys back very shortly. Well, I timed out of my first hand getting back from the break, so. But here we are back. Launchpad about to begin in just a few short minutes. That's going to mean that we're going to send you over to the Simpione stream here shortly. So good luck with that, and we'll be seeing you over there for a little bit. I probably won't be interacting a ton over there because I will be working, but I'll be over there for a bit with you guys. Meanwhile, we're 4 away from the money here in the Battle Royale today, along with Happy Ray, who's here with us on the table. So good luck, good luck, good luck to both of us. See you at the final table, Ray. In theory, this bubble shouldn't be ridiculously long. I might stream until the bubble bursts. We've just had the launch pad pop up on the screen. So that's off and running. Well, it's off. It's not quite running yet. Ms. Zeal, how you doing? You've arrived just as I'm about to head off shortly, but so I think I might hang out for a minute or two anyways. 5-10 minutes. See if this bubble bursts relatively quickly. But we're going to be sending you over to Ian's stream here shortly. At least I'm looking at what else is there, and Ian looks like the one. If I'm going to send you guys anywhere, looks like the place I'm going to send you. I'm not going to be the one to take us down to 23 or try with that hand in that spot, I don't think. A few too many chips. They have 3 or 4 fewer big blinds. More inclined to call there with the suited queen, but what is going on, Maziel? Good to have you on board as always. Want to see a flop here. We have a pair. You are indeed hanging in there, Ray. I am sure, well, pretty sure you are in a caching spot right now. Ooh, you're not. My apologies for needling you like that then. Close though. There's lots of action, I think, to happen between any time that you need to be too concerned, though. I think I'm always calling one big blind here with my 4. Hero call. Probably behind a 10 or an 8, but... Or I could just be behind hearts. I lost the minimum there, I think. Well, it's a good thing that you just dropped by for a sec, Miz, because I'm only streaming for, well, probably a little more than a sec, but not too much more than a sec. Week of vacation, though, sounds like fun. It's been ages since I've taken a vacation. I, I don't enjoy not doing anything. So, like beach resort vacations where the point is to go sit on the beach or things like that is not something that I ever enjoy or do. I'm not huge into the water sports kind of thing. So, I wouldn't mind trying surfing sometime, but I have a feeling it's going to be a one-time thing where I'm hopelessly bad at it and it hurts when I finish. And it was fun, but that sort of thing. So the kinds of vacations that I would tend to do was, well, I mean, a nice example was when I went to Prague and Warsaw, where I didn't even actually know I was going to be doing it. I knew I was going to do something. I knew I had 2 weeks to do something after my 2 weeks of work, but I had literally no plans. And I made the Prague plans with a colleague while I was at the 2 weeks of work. Because I said I got 2 weeks and I'm going to do something. You want to, you know, and we ended up deciding, okay, well, let's go spend a week in Prague. So we went and spent a week in Prague. Just because it happened to be a pretty easy train trip from where we were in Germany, and we both wanted to see Prague, so we went and spent a week in Prague. And then she had to go back because she only was able to get a week because it was last minute for her. I still had an extra week, so I stuck around in Prague. And actually I picked Warsaw because I went to the train station at like 7 o'clock in the evening one night, and I was like, where's the next overnight train leaving to? And there was a couple, and I picked Warsaw. So I grabbed the overnight train and I went to bed in Prague and woke up in Warsaw. That was kind of pretty cool, I thought. Spent a week in Warsaw. I had to find a hotel. This is 2005 too, so it's not like you just log on to the internet on your phone and go to TripAdvisor and book it. It was a lot trickier than that. I had to find a hotel in Warsaw when I arrived, having never been there before, not speaking Polish at all. So that was fun. Yeah, managed it. Wasn't too tricky. It wasn't actually finding it. I knew the hotel I was going to, at least. I didn't actually have a reservation there, but I was pretty sure. Was I able to book a reservation from Prague before I went? There was like internet service, so it's not like it was pre-internet times, and that there was the beginnings of that sort of thing happening. So I know I located the hotel before I left. Yeah, I must have booked. I must have had a reservation as well, I think, at that hotel. Because I was pretty certain about going to a specific hotel. But yeah, it was all very last. It was all very last minute, and I really enjoy that sort of thing where I just kind of decide what to do in the moment. But that's also always a lot more fun with somebody else. So finding travel partners that like the same thing is because that was part of the problem when I went with my friend to Prague. We have totally different styles of travel, and although as it turned out there were a lot of the same things that we ended up wanting to see. Um, like I'm not sure she's somebody that I would do that with over and over again, just because it was exhausting to be with her. I would take a slower pace of things typically. Polka Dawn, what's going on, my friend? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. How are things going with you, Dawn? We're down to 23 players left here in the Battle Royale. I may not be able to stay on here until the. I may not be able to stay on here until we burst the bubble. Give you guys another minute or two, but I got to get the fuck off of this streamy thing here shortly. Sad to say. See you in a bit, Giggles, although you probably won't see me in a bit other than in Ian's chat because by the time you come back, there's a really good chance we're going to be over at Ian's place. Indeed, this bubble seems like it's taking a while, although I do want to see what's going to happen here with Ray. GL Ray kind of bites that 9 hit the river turn. You only chop that one, but Choppy Chop is good enough. Choppy Chop is okay in that spot, my friend. Right, it is time for Elster to say goodbye. We're down to 22. Nah, let's give it till 120. So we're getting another 6 minutes here, or until the bubble bursts, whichever comes first. We are slowly dropping here down to 22, so it just might burst in that time. It's within the realms of possibilities, as my mother used to say. Whereas I like to say there are at least a few universes in which this bubble bursts in the next 5 or 6 minutes. I do not know if we live in one of those universes yet or not, but there are some universes in which that occurs. Nice, nice. Always nice to bank those wins. You need them to top up the bankroll. It's like poker does not you can't survive playing MTT poker with just min cashes. That doesn't work. You need the occasional deep run. You don't necessarily need to have wins. I'm living proof of that. But you need deep runs. You need final tables. You need to get into the higher cash rates for sure. Yeah, well, I mean, I've got some potential ticket joy coming up at some point in the future. I booked a ticket to the Supermoon yesterday, so one of the next Supermoons coming up. It's good until November, so I've got a few months to play it. I'm not. I think I'm going to be busy this in September when it plays, so it might be the October that I play it. So that'll be a chance to put some money in the old bank account, and pretty easy spot if I take a couple of booties to wipe out my deficit from my max bankroll in like one tournament, right? So, and go extra crazy with that. We're hand for hand here, so maybe, just maybe, we live in one of those universes, everybody. So yeah, that one's got potential for sure. And I've been running really hot over on 888. I play either 2 or 3 games a day over there in the evening times, my time. And I've cashed in at least one of those games every day since I got back from Calgary a week ago. And this weekend I had one really deep run. I had a third place for $13 in the $1 game that I play. So yeah, it's been actually a pretty good run over there. I had a good day yesterday here on Unibet as well. So yeah, it's been running okay for me lately. My week up till yesterday on Unibet was horrible, frankly. But since yesterday, or yesterday was good. And we're on the bubble here, the Battle Royale. I bubbled the final table of the Battle Royale yesterday, so I got pretty deep and bagged like $22 at the end of in combined booty and prize pool yesterday. So hoping to do a little better than that one. However, I am working in about half an hour, so we are going to be shutting this little stream down here. I'm just kind of waiting to see if this bubble bursts or not. Still no bursty poo. I'm going to have to shove on Ray, though, and that does not feel good. But it's going to have to happen. I'm going to have to shove on poor Ray if it comes to it. So just be warned there, Ray. I'm going to be shoving on you, buddy. Am I still going to be shoving on you? I guess I'm not shoving on you anymore. Well, I hope it's Lance that woke up with the ace and not you, Ray. Get out of the way of this train wreck, Ray. Good man. Good man. Like, whatever happens here, this is a potential train wreck. This is a potential fucking train wreck, everybody. I mean, I'm never going anywhere here. I guess I should value bet my trip aces, but it doesn't feel very value-y, frankly. Right? And especially with the way the action played out there, I feel like I'm either have them completely crushed or I am completely crushed. One of those two things is the case. You know, they're either waiting for me to bet so they can get the fuck out of the hand, or they're waiting for me to bet so they can fucking put the screws to me with my worst trip ace to their boat or whatever. All right, this will be the last hand for hand that I stream for you guys. I got to get the fuck out of here, I'm afraid to say. So, thank you all for coming and hanging out with me. We'll hang out here for just a bit longer while until this one finishes, because this might be the one. Might be the one. Indeed, it is not. So, thank you all for coming and hanging out with me today. It has been a blast, but I have to get the fuck out of here because I have shit to do that does not involve the ability to continue this stream. So thank you all for coming and hanging out with me on Monday. I'll be back on Wednesday. Similar sort of aborted end time for me on Wednesday. Possibly a similar sort of early start time for me on Wednesday. So kind of put that in the back of your brain as a potentiality as well. Password is in chat, so please don't bug Ian about it. Come or or if people do bug you in about it and I'm not around, please just gently direct them over to my chat, or give them the password, whatever. Yeah, so thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I guess until Wednesday. This is your Captain Ellie out. Ooh, carrot and parsnip stir fry. For more vintage poker content from MotherShip Poker, click the subscribe button and check out the playlists for all of our old archived content, as well as the ads only cut from some of the early streams.